Folks, today I'm going to do an unboxing of the Nextool Huohou, I believe, that's how you say it. And it was £24.23, which is roughly $30 US. I got this off Aliexpress. I will provide a link. So let's open it and take a look. I have opened it, but I've put it all back, obviously for the purposes of the video. So nothing else in the box. Here's some little instructions with a diagram. It appears to be in probably Mandarin or something like that, I'm guessing. Then it comes in this nice little bag. And here's what's inside. So, it's listed as having 15 functions. So, pliers and a wire cutter, wood saw, knife, non-locking, Phillips, a seatbelt cutter is what I would call it, a can opener, a glass breaker just on the end here, a bottle opener, and a flat screwdriver and some big scissors. So, let's weigh it. Now I'm glad I weighed this, to be honest, because it was listed as weighing 200 grams and it's 247 according to this. 246, 246, 247, so we could do an average. 246 and a half we'll call as an average. So its listing's actually wrong. So I'm glad I checked that. So let's start. So the main knife, it's non-locking. Now this is a big boy. It doesn't lock, as I've just mentioned. So the cutting surface is bang on 3 inches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this sharpening choil maybe into a bit more of a choil to make it UK pocket legal. Our laws section 139 says it's got to be under 3 inch and non-locking, so it doesn't lock. Out the box it came not quite shaving sharp. Oh yes, sorry, it did pop a hair off just. So not quite shaving sharp, but it's certainly what I'd call a workable edge. We'll test it on the instructions. So yeah, sharp enough, it'll work. The grind is quite... It could be touched up with the ceramic Lansky just to polish it, and that will obviously make it a lot sharper. So I'm going to compare the blade now to a Swiss Army knife because everyone knows what they look like. So as you can see, it's quite a lot bigger. There. So that's blade to blade. So that's quite a big difference, really. What I will say about this, though, is if it is going to shut, it's going to shut on your finger, as you can see. Unlike some traditionals, where the bottom part of the knife, the unsharpened bit, will just pinch like that. It won't actually cut you. This, I can assure you, will cut you. So let's open it up. Here's the big shears. Now I will say these are awesome. Obviously cuts through paper and card, no problem. Even cuts hairs quite easily. I've seen other people testing these and they'll cut through seat belts and all sorts, so these are really good. Now on the outside, I shall go through it. Here's the seat belt cutter and Phillips. Then we have a can opener and wire stripper just here. Now I will say all these tools are quite easy to get out, which if you've ever had a Ganzo, they are quite awkward to get out. So this is a pleasant surprise to me. I shall just compare this to the Swiss Army knife one to compare shapes. Pretty similar. I've no doubt it will work. I don't need to test it. I know it'll work. Now the saw does lock with a liner lock, as you can see. Nice solid lock up. The spine is relatively sharp, although it has been just smoothed off on the edges. So it would strike a fire steel, but not as good as, say, a Swiss Army knife. So just compare the Swiss Army knife one now. So as you can see, the Swiss Army knife is literally 3 to 4 millimeters longer. I'll measure that. So the actual cutting surface to the edge of the teeth is 2 3/4 inches. Touching it, it's just as sharp as the Swiss Army knife. Now, what I will say is there's a variety of listed steels for this. I'm not going to go into details, I'm going to pop you the link because there's quite a few. So basically the pliers are a different steel to the knife, and then the tools are different steels. But generally it's all stainless steel, just different variants. So let's open it up and show you the pliers. So when it opens up, it springs into place, as you can see, and then opens up. It does have a resistance spring in there, opening it back up. Bit of excess oil there. I could wipe all that off and put some maybe GT85 in or something. It's got interchangeable wire cutters, which are changed with the Torx. I haven't seen anywhere those being advertised. So if they're dull, I don't exactly know what you could do. But for now, I'm gonna compare the pliers to the rebar, Leatherman rebar, and the Leatherman kick, just to give you some kind of idea. And I'll put these all side by side. So as you can see, it's a matte finish, interchangeable, unlike the Leatherman kick. The Leatherman kick now is obsolete, which is a shame because it's UK legal. So side by side next to the rebar, very similar in size. Close it up, however it is fatter. Obviously all the rebar tools lock, however only the saw locks on this Nextool. But there's the size comparison. So we'll quickly measure it. It is 41mm wide at the widest point. At the longest point, 101mm long. So I'd say it's of average weight. The pocket clip, I will attach a picture of it in my pocket. It sits quite proud, so you can quite easily get it out, but then again that has its downside. It's not very discreet, it's very obvious you're carrying it, which isn't a problem if you're using it the correct way. My overall thoughts on it is I'm quite impressed with it, to be honest. The only thing I'm going to have to explore though is the saw blade for UK carry. If we don't have a good reason, I'm pretty sure a saw will count as a blade still, so this lock would have to be removed. So you could Dremel grind it off here so it sits flush and tidy, then that will disable the lock. I mean, there's no real reason for it to lock anyway, because it wouldn't close on your hands anyway, because my finger's up against it. So I think really for 24-23 UK pounds is what I paid. That is with delivery as well, which is $30 US. This is quite good. One hand opening. I'll see if there's any play in the pliers, because I quite often find with your smaller Leathermans there's play in the handles when you squeeze. Now this is very, very minimal. I've had a SOG power tool which was £70, obviously a lot more, and it's nowhere near as good as this, so that says a lot. I think maybe the Western production needs to improve a lot, and they need to compete with prices. Having said that, for a serious working tool I'd use a Leatherman Surge anyway, just because of its guarantee, or warranty as you might say. But I'd say it's a seriously good multi-tool pocket carry of a middle size. I'd prefer to have this than have a little Leatherman, because the pliers will cut larger wire and it is more functional. But in the UK, if you've got a good reason, you just carry a Surge anyway, or maybe a whole toolbox with tools. So if the blade is UK legal, I would say this is a very good budget pocket multi-tool for the UK. So please like and subscribe. I'm going to attach some pictures. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.